What's up, guys? It's Weezy here, and welcome to episode 4 of the Weezy Army. So we've got a huge video today. We're doing some SBC, some pack openings, where we get our biggest pack pull of the year so far. Also, we're taking our team into online play for the first time. So as you guys know, I played a lot of offline stuff so far with the squad battles. We've had a lot of fun with that. However, the computer can be very frustrating to play. So what I wanted to do was take it to online, play against some real people, and actually see how my team holds up against some of these guys. So before we start the video, if you guys could leave a like down below, I really appreciate that. Also, if you could subscribe to the channel, I appreciate every one of your guys' support. It means the world to me. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below in the video. I'll be sure to answer them on any future video. So as we start the video here, our first opening clips are for our rewards. So we get our rewards from the squad battles for week 1. I wasn't really expecting them to come in. I didn't think they came in. I believe this was stuff from Monday. So it's a couple days late here, but those are my rewards. We finished Silver 2. It was very simple to actually finish Silver 2. I think I played like 8 or 9 games, and I played them on really simple levels. So I was just playing like amateur, semi-pro. I wasn't really having to test myself that much. So to get Silver 2 gave me like 10,000 coins, 2 premium gold packs, and a regular gold pack. The 10,000 coins was probably the best part of it, as you guys will see here in the pack opening. We didn't really pack too much. I don't expect very much from premium gold packs. You know, if you get lucky and you get a board, that's great. But other than that, like, you're not really going to get a whole lot. And we have our Jumbo Premium Gold Pack, from our weekly payout for getting the Ronaldo edition. So that's our weekly reward for just buying that early version. So a little bit of a bonus there. Like I said, with the squad battles, I didn't put it in the future videos, but for this week, after learning what I learned from the first week, like I said, it's really easy to get to Silver 2. So getting to even Gold 3 or Elite 3 just would require a little bit more gameplay. You know, I've played, I think, twice this week, squad battles. The first time I just played Thomas Mueller's team. So I always start off with a feature team. You can even play it on a low level, and I think it gives you about like 1,600 points or something like that. So that already takes you up to like Bronze 1. And then I played through the first set of 4 games, and that took me to, I think I'm at Silver 2 again. So like just playing 5 games took me to Silver 2. So just playing a little bit more time would probably get me actually up to Gold 3, Gold 2, Gold 1. My goal would be even to get to Elite 3. Not that it's hard to do. I don't want to say it's like a goal, but it's more of a time issue. If you have the time to spend playing it, like those higher ratings, the gap between the ratings is quite heavy. You can roll through the lower leagues quite easily, but the higher ones also take quite a while to do. So I do recommend putting in the time if you have it, because it is easy coins, it's easy packs, and getting like a couple mega packs is also a nice benefit. But you know, again, it's just whether you have the time or not. So as we open up the packs, you guys saw I didn't really pack too much. I think the best player we packed from these ones was Chicharito. There was a couple of kits and stuff like that. I was expecting that Sounders kit to go for something. However, unfortunately, the kits essentially go for nothing. They are just so many packs being opened. I'm seeing some of these big YouTubers and streamers, hundreds of thousands of FIFA points. They're opening up just thousands of packs, and there's just nothing. There's Chicharito right there, but there's just nothing that any of the kits are really worth. There's a couple of them that maybe go for a couple hundred coins, but you'd be very hard pressed to find it, especially like that Sounders kit, which is a gold rare. So that's one of the most common ones coming out, because guys are obviously opening up the biggest packs that they can find, the packs that have like as many gold rares as possible. So it used to be worth something because it was like a cool color. It was the green with the blue and had the Xbox, so the novelty of having Xbox on your PS4 would actually sell quite a lot. But now it's not worth anything. So unfortunately, that goes for nothing. And the Ajax kit we were gonna put on our team, so I didn't want to use that. And then we jump into the SBCs here. So I wanted to do the hybrid league. So this one wasn't crazy. We had quite a few of the cards sitting in our club, so I'll show you guys the actual value of the cards that we spent. But I think for all of the SBCs, like every single one, all 4 of these, like at most we would be spending maybe like 5K, 6K max. So I mean, like if you took it across the 4 of them, you're talking 20K at the very most, probably. Like, it wasn't very expensive to do this. A lot of these were cards that I had in my club. When it comes to SBCs, two things. One, I always make sure that I use as many cards I have in my club as possible, at least to fill out about half. So I don't recommend going on FUTBin, because FUTBin will just, all those cards that are at the very top result are all going to be very expensive online. I don't suggest using them because it's going to be actually expensive by the time you actually go in there and do it. So just use as many cards as you have in your club. It will keep the costs down. And then the other thing is, I only do the ones that actually have good payouts. So when it comes to like a premium gold pack, or like a gold pack, or like a jumbo premium, like I don't bother with those unless they're part of a set that would give me a very high rated pack, or like a team of the week card or team of the season card or something like that. But I'm not generally going to spend a lot of time or effort, even on premium or prime gold players packs. Maybe the prime gold players packs, but the premium one that just gives you 3 rares, you very rarely pull anything out of those. So I don't concern myself too much. But like mega packs, rare gold packs, I like those ones a lot, just because even if they don't give you the players, you'll still get a bunch of squad fitnesses, which don't go for very much right now, but later in the year, you know, once they jump up to about 1,000 a piece, like you're probably going to be able to make some decent coin off that. And you can always sell, like gold contracts, I'll sell for 200, 250 coins a piece. And you might pack a couple other cool things, like some position changes, and some other cool items like that. So I always like having like the high value packs. As you guys saw in the first one there, our first SBC, we got a Subasic from that prime gold players pack. We didn't really get much else in there. Subasic, an 85 rated, definitely will sit in the club, and we'll be able to use him at the very least for a high rated SBC that needs your rating to be high. And then the second one, I believe this was a mega pack. Mega packs I'm a big fan of, and it was a decent one. The mega packs, you tend to get a run on players. You either get nothing or you'll get a bunch of them together. And I thought this was quite successful. Bellarabi, Gonalons, Çalhanoğlu, even though they aren't players that necessarily I might use or go for a whole lot, they're actually not too bad. Hey, there's Robbie Werner. So Robbie Werner was actually a guy that I worked with at EA. He was there back when I was there from 2008, 2009 time. So it's funny always seeing these guys. A lot of people just think that they're stock images, but all those guys are actually EA employees. So it's funny when I'm opening packs, sometimes I'll run across a guy that I used to work with, or a girl that I used to work with. A lot of them are like sound engineers or whatnot, or gameplay designers or whatever. So it's funny actually running into them. But back to the actual packs themselves. Not too much crazy in that pack, but a couple thousand coins. And some guys that we'll be able to use for SBCs, some major leagues, and that's all I really care about. I prefer getting like a guy like Çalhanoğlu, just because he'll be usable at the very least, or you can use him in an SBC, rather than getting like Argentinian players or a rare guy from like the Belgian or Swiss league, which I'll just never be able to use. Anyway, so back into the SBCs themselves. This third SBC, this one actually took me a little bit longer. I think I had to go on FUTBin to learn the actual equation for it. You had to create a diamond at the top, a triangle at the bottom, and then link your left and right mids and forwards. So it was a little bit annoying to do, but it was, again, very cheap. And then that SBC gave me a gold jumbo pack. So I thought at first my eyes were deceiving me, because I was thinking, like, I thought it was a gold premium jumbo, but unfortunately not. You only get 3 golds in this pack, so it actually is the worst pack of the entire set. However, that being said, we get a board on it, and we get our best pull so far. I saw Brazil left wing. I was ready to poo my pants, and then we got Felipe Coutinho. I did think it was going to be Neymar at first, so I was a little disappointed, but hey, this is a great pull. Felipe Coutinho goes for about 40 to 50K. I think when we checked, he was going for about 48 at the time I pulled this, which was Monday. So he's a great pull. I'm a big fan of Felipe Coutinho. I used him last year. I had his informs last year, and I was very, very happy with that. We also got Ruffier in that pack, so another guy that will, again, be very useful for SBCs. He'll sit in the club, and he'll probably go for quite a bit. Once those SBCs start coming out where you need high-rated teams, these guys are all going to jump up in value, so stockpiling a lot of them in your club. I think we ended up using Ruffier for an SBC in the future here. I don't remember if it's in this video or in the future, but I think we did end up using Ruffier. So he's not in my club anymore, but with that being said, just keeping them in the club, waiting for SBCs to come out where you need high-rated teams. These guys are all going to jump up in price. So I'm going to try and keep as many 85, 86 rated cards in my club as possible, unless they're just going for a lot and you're going to see them drop down in price. So this final SBC, in order to complete the set, is going to give us a gold jumbo. This one was really simple to do. I think the only guy, we had to pick up a couple guys, but most of them were first owner Argentinian guys. I think that was the most expensive one, maybe from the entire video. 3,600 for Musashio. I was surprised he went for that much, but 83 rated player. And then pretty much the rest of the players we had in the squad. So to do that Argentinian one, that was really simple, very cheap to do. And that gave us a gold jumbo premium gold, or premium gold jumbo pack, or jumbo premium gold pack. And we also, for completing that set, get a rare mega pack, which I had big expectations. After packing that Felipe Coutinho, I was expecting the world from some of these packs, just because I was thinking we could pull that from a gold jumbo pack where you only get 3 rares. I was thankful to even get a gold player, let alone, or a rare player, let alone, Felipe Coutinho. However, in our gold premium or jumbo premium gold pack, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with that one. We only get Samieto. I saw that Cameroon flag and I just thought, oh, Samieto, because I don't think anyone else is even rare from the Cameroonian squad. There's probably a couple of guys in there, but they've fallen on some hard times within the last couple of years in terms of their national team. We also did get Baba in there, a sneaky little pull, which I will use as my second left back or my backup left back to Kolasinac. So not a terrible little guy to pull there. And also we get Guy, who I'll put on the trade block, and he'll end up going for something as well. And then our final pack here of the set, which is going to be our rare gold pack, our rare mega pack. So this is a big one to pull. I saw the Brazil flag. However, we only get Fabinho. So unfortunately, Fabinho, a little bit disappointing there. He's not going to be worth very much at all, but we'll just throw him into the club. Maybe we'll use him as an SBC. Pereira will be useful. Mangala is a guy that I'll actually end up using in my squad as my fitness center back there. So I'll use him as a reserve that I can pull in off the bench when my top 2 center backs get tired. So cheeky little pull there that I'll be able to use. I do want to upgrade my center backs at some point here, but for now Mangala will be a decent little reserve, and we do get 2 other packs, a silver pack and a loan pack. I didn't really expect very much from either of them. The silver packs, you only get 1 rare in them, so I'm not too concerned with that. And then the loan pack wasn't even an 83 rated loan pack, so I expected to just get some garbage guy that I'll probably never use. So we open up the silver pack first. In terms of what we get, not very much at all. Like I said, you only get 1 rare player in here. Most of these cards are usually, now they're just filled with like the South American leagues, like the Colombian League, the Argentinian League, and some of the other like Eastern European leagues where you're not really going to have a lot of use for them. I don't even think they have like league SBCs, a lot of these ones, so I'm not too concerned. However, we did get a Canada kit, which we will keep in the club. We'll keep that in homage to the motherland here, as I am Canadian. I'm filming this from Toronto right now, so we'll keep that in the club and maybe shoot that on the team to really piss people off, because they'll know that they're losing to a Canadian. Also, the loan players pack gets us Bukambu, so a guy that I'll never use. I don't even think I'll probably end up using a La Liga team, and I certainly won't be too concerned with him, because if I did need Bukambu, I would just go buy him. I don't think he goes for very much at all, so I'm just going to actually discard him. But we do change our team's formation, and in order to do that, I had to go to a 4-3-2-1, and we had to essentially go pick up a right mid, because our left mid was Felipe Coutinho, which I wanted to fit into the team. So in order to fit him in, we had to go to 4-3-2-1, which I'm not a massive fan of. I don't like flat midfields, but I just needed to try him. I wanted to try him out, see how he goes, see how he fits as an attacker. If he's not working, we'll switch to a 4-1-2-1-2 and use him as the left mid. But for now, I wanted to try him in attacking position and see how he did. But we didn't have any right mids because, as you guys know, I like to use kind of narrow formations. I was trying to use one against the computer, and the computer kept spreading me. So the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow didn't work offline. So it might work online a little bit better. However, offline, it played very narrow, and I was getting stretched quite heavily. So I didn't want to continue playing that. However, I did have a lot of central players, didn't have any wingers. So when we packed Coutinho, it meant that I had to change my whole team around. So we go to a 4-3-2-1. I'm going to play him at left mid, and then we go pick up Riyad Mahrez. So Riyad Mahrez, My concern with him was that he's very weak. We end up putting a finisher in Riyad Mahrez, which will take his shooting and his physical up. But his physical, I believe, was only 55. And even after the 3 additional chevrons, he was still extremely weak. He just, every time I would switch, because I didn't necessarily love the 4-3-2-1, I would switch to like a 4-1-2-1-2 or a 4-2-3-1. And he would end up playing as one of the strikers in like a 2-striker formation. And because there's so many defenders and there's so many strong center backs and stuff, he would get bodied off the ball quite a bit. So I could see why he might be useful as a winger, even though they nerfed his card from last year. He was an 85 overall last year. He was a lot faster. He's only an 82, so he doesn't make for a really great speedy winger. However, he is a very good dribbler. I think he has 5-star skills. He might have 4. I don't remember off the top of my head, but you guys can see his stats got nerfed quite heavily there. So 82 is not really great for like a winger. So to put him into that right forward position, he's going to be a little bit more central, but it's going to be very frustrating to play with him because, like I said, he does get bodied off the ball a lot. So you kind of have to have him in a position where he's got a lot of space to move because he just doesn't he doesn't work well when he's in traffic. He's just too slender, he's too weak, and he's not quick enough to escape those players. Felipe Coutinho, Gabriel Jesus, both very good players, but from the right mid, right wing, right forward position, we might have to look at upgrading that eventually, but Riyad Mahrez will be a decent like fitness sub. So as we come into our first game here, our first online game here, we come up against a 3-4-3. I wasn't worried about that formation. And his team was decently balanced, but I don't know, that formation I just hate. I don't know for whatever reason he has Gulam in there, that informed Gulam. I don't know if that's an untradeable, maybe that's part of his free one team of the week card every week or whatever it is, but I don't know why he fit that into there because he had a French team, he didn't fit with anybody, and he had Olivier Giroud as a striker in a 3-4-3, so I wasn't too worried about that. We do open up the scoring here with Gabriel Jesus. Really a cheesy goal. If I'm being brutally honest, I don't think that really deserved to go in. You look at the pass that comes in, excuse me, that pass that comes into him. He's got a defender on his back. He really just turns and hits with his weak foot. I just kind of hit it blindly. I was hoping for him to hit it with his right foot. However, he hits it with his left. Goes through the defender's legs and into the top corner. So when those go against me, I'm very triggered. Those are very annoying goals to concede. Like, I just didn't think that I really had any space and really deserved to even get the shot away. However, I did get the shot away and it flew into the top corner. So I'm not going to complain about the goal. But something like this, for example, this is an opportunity where I was expecting a little bit better. Did create the space with the fake shot. However, he took a little bit of a stutter step there. And then another one where I was expecting another goal. Finessed it. What I thought was going to go into the top corner bounces off the crossbar. So I was a little triggered there. The end of the first half here, we're up 1-0, but I really expected to be up 2-0 because my philosophy is you leave guys hanging around, they'll score some cheese goal, and it almost always happens. You very seldom, at least so far in this FIFA that I've seen, shut guys out. There's so many goals to be had, so I don't feel comfortable like I did last year with a 1-0 lead, especially this early on in FIFA. I thought I had another one here. Gabriel Jesus again, but a left-footed shot and a great save from Mandanda. His Mandanda was coming up huge. With that being said, I think I have Romero still in goal, and he was coming up huge. Romero made some really big stops in this game for me. He's an 80 overall, but he is just an awesome keeper. I do recommend him quite heavily. But the guy comes down, and he ends up scoring here. Just sprints past my defender. My defender just kind of let him run by. Whips in kind of across and just volleys it. Really a cheesy goal, but I can't complain. My goal wasn't really that great. He hits it off the near post, but you guys know my feelings on these goals. I don't think that requires any skill, just pumping down the wing. Like, look at this. I tried it right after because that was really all I had. I just wanted to see if this was just an element that was abused, but of course it has Solante Coutinho, doesn't have great heading, but didn't really create much of an opportunity there. He was right in front of the net, but I never really expected him to score. And then a couple opportunities here which are late in the game, but I'm going to freeze frame one here, which I wanted to show you guys, something that I wanted to bring up. So this pass comes through here. I wanted to sneak this pass right into the middle. So you guys see that player streaking right up the middle. I was directing the pass left and down, and look at that pass that it chose. It tries to force it to, I believe, Jack Wilshere through a defender. So I had this happen so many times. You guys could probably tell me if this is something that happened with you guys. or if you guys have been experiencing this, but I feel like so many of my passes have been going astray. They're not going to where I want them to go. I'll be like pointing in a direction at a guy who's like right on the wing, and it'll shoot a pass to like my wing back or my center back or something. Like it'll just go to somebody who I like is totally out of the play, or it'll give the ball away or whatever. And why this is important is because this could be the difference between you giving the ball away in a very critical area and the opponent coming in and scoring, which could mean the difference between a game. So, like, as you guys know from last year, they're trying to make this a competitive esport. So this is a really big deal. So to have passing not going to where you want it is a very, very big issue. And I've experienced quite a bit. I'm hoping, I like to think that they're going to be changing this for the first patch that's coming through. I believe it's live today, but this is definitely something I'll have to address because this has been happening very often with me. The passes are just going quite astray. So as we finished our first game 1-1, we get our first single point. Thought we should have had a better result, but we come into our second game here. This guy's got a very standard EPL team. It looked like a team that guy had spent no money on, which is fine. I mean, I don't encourage people spending money on it. But you could tell this was a team that was very cheap to put together. I don't think anyone really cost much more than about 1,000 coins in his team. But we score right off the bat here. We get the ball to Manuel Lanzini. I was calling him Mario Lanzini in my last video here, but Manuel Lanzini, ball comes through. I didn't even have to fake shot it. He turned like a fake shot, but I didn't really have to do that. This was really quick. He just made the turn automatically. And just that low driven, still very overpowered. I thought that this was something that they were going to address, but the low driven seems to still be working quite well through traffic. It's not necessarily something I'm complaining about, but something that I was really expecting to not be as prominent this year so far. But, you know, we'll take the 1-0 lead. So he gets an opportunity. I get an opportunity. This really went back and forth. This guy's shooting left something to be desired. He was creating opportunities decently enough. This was a nice little give and go. Smashes it into the top corner. Got really lucky with that, in my opinion. Not to be a hater, but, you know, smash it across goal, across a slide tackling player. Smashes off the post and bounces in with Nkulu. I didn't really expect that to go in, but it does go in. And then we get an opportunity here. I thought I had him beat, go around his goalkeeper, bounces off the near post. Irritated. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, is this going to happen again? However, we do run right downfield. Felipe Coutinho gets his first of the series, his first for the club, just sprints down and smashes near post. I honestly didn't expect that to actually go in. This is not a goal that I usually would take. I wouldn't usually smash it near post. However, for some reason, I guess I just felt the angle was getting closed down, so I decided to just take that near post, and lucky enough it flew in. This guy kept pressing. I think he felt like he was going ultra attacking at this point. He was just pushing my defense back and back and back, and I just had a hard time getting out of my own zone. I do feel like one thing that I've learned from playing online is that I don't know if I feel like the results are there. Like, I'm getting the results. Like, I like to think that the cream always rises to the top, and the better player usually, for the most part, comes out on top. However, the shots that I'm taking aren't the ones that I'm expecting to go in, and the ones that are going in are the ones that you don't expect to go in. Or is that the same thing? What I mean is the shots that I expect to go in aren't, and the ones that I don't expect to go in are going in, is what I'm trying to say. But as you guys can see here, this guy was really peppering me. Like Sergio Romero, only an 80 overall, but he was just standing on his head. Like, he is actually a really good goalkeeper in this game. So if you're looking for a cheap beast goalkeeper, Sergio Romero, not a bad guy to have. This guy's all his shots. I don't know if he really knew how to do the low driven shot. It probably would have helped him a lot, but Sergio Romero standing on his head in terms of just regular shots. But again, here's another opportunity. I don't know if you guys are going to see the replay here. I think I show the replay, but I wanted to sneak the ball through this little give and go just to the first guy. Instead, it flies across to Ross Barkley and ends up falling to Coutinho. But I wanted that first pass to Coutinho. So a lot of the passing is leaving a lot to be desired. I just think they're not going to the guys that you want it to, especially in the area, in the offensive zone. Like, when you want these little tiki-taka, you need these tight little passes to, like, work. They're going to whoever it feels like, whoever the computer feels like. It's not going to where I want it to go. And like I said, that can be the difference between you winning or losing. In this case, thankfully enough, the opponent wasn't able to capitalize on his chances, and we do end up winning 3-1. But if I was coming up against, a higher scoring guy, that might have been the difference if I would have missed that chance with Barkley or if Coutinho wasn't there. So very annoying. That's something I hope they address. In our third game here of the episode, we come up against a very similar to the last team, however, a La Liga team. So instead of a gold starter BPL team, I guess you'd call this a gold starter La Liga team. So this guy was a very interesting opponent. Hyper aggressive. Somebody, I don't want to badmouth him, so I'm trying to choose my words very carefully, but a guy that if I was playing this guy last year, I feel like I would have just murdered. But for some reason this year, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just getting used to the game, but I just don't feel like I have the control that I want to. This guy was just hitting pass, and just shooting. So you guys will see a lot of his shots, they're not really quality opportunities. He's not really doing a lot, but because he was hyper aggressive, my passes were going astray. Maybe that's just me making an excuse, but they were, I don't know if I was rushing them or what was happening, but he was just hitting pass as quickly as possible, and stuff like that happens, and it was just mind-numbing because this guy would just hit pass as quickly as he could up front, pinging the ball around. Look at this. This is an opportunity. He just hit that, and then he tries to volley it. There was no real sense to his gameplay. He was just rushing everything, running as quickly as he could. No real skill involved, and I was trying to work my way through, and then I hit the post. But on his goal, my defender just the defending. I know they've nerfed the defending, which is fine. This was a decent ball, but they've nerfed the defending. But I still expected the player to be able to take the ball away. I think I hit the physical, which is L2, but he didn't end up. He didn't end up doing anything. He just ran up to the guy, and the opponent just essentially walked past him. So it was very annoying because this guy wasn't really that skillful, but for some reason was just causing my defense problems. And every time I got the ball, he would just run at me. So this was the type of guy that I expected to be able to pass around. And last year, you would have been able to compose yourself and pass around him. However, my players, I think the passing's been nerfed a little bit. And the passing has just been slowed down enough that it will actually give the ball away. So as you guys know from my series last year, my Founder Academy Road to Glory series, I'm not a fan of high pressure tactics. I just think that there's something that they need to disappear in FIFA. I think that they're so stupid because as soon as you go high pressure, your opponent goes high pressure, the other team just falls to the floor, and that's basically what was happening. This guy would just run at me, and it would cause my passes to go astray. My players would either just pass the ball directly to him, or they would just choke and give the ball up. You couldn't really hold possession that well. You're essentially just trying to keep the ball away from them as much as you can, but eventually they'll just give the ball away. So I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys have something different to say. But thankfully we brought on Eden Hazard to get back to the game. We brought on Eden Hazard and we ended up scoring 2 goals late, but this guy never really offered very much. You guys can see his shooting opportunity. That was one that was my mistake. That was bad defending on my part. I'll admit that, but he really should have taken advantage of that. Even if this would have finished 2-2, which would have been very unjust, it probably would have not shocked me if that would have happened. He was just a guy who was causing my team to break down. Essentially, it was just he was abusing the tactics, whether he meant to do it or not. Playing super fast, just sprinting at you as quickly as possible, drawing guys out of position, which is the key point I'm trying to make. Really, you should be punished for pulling guys out of position and being able to take advantage of space. However, just the way the mechanics of the game work right now, I at least haven't been able to do that. I haven't been able to figure out how to really take advantage of that because I try to play a little bit slow, more possession, tiki-taka style, and I definitely was being punished for it in this game. Getting the ball and trying to move the ball very patiently, he would just run it down, and he would just get the ball back from my players because he would just sprint until the player would just steal the ball or my player would just pass it directly to him. It was very frustrating. You'll see it in some of the clips. It was just very annoying to play. So it's something that I hope they address. I hope that they would start rewarding patience, not just for me, just because it's me and I'm me. It was just something that I just think that, better players should be able to who understand the game and are trying to play more of a possession-based game should be rewarded for it. And I don't know if I was really feeling that so far. But we do get the win, and we are going to go into our 4th game here. I'll stop complaining, so I apologize for you guys listening to me piss and moan about that, but this is one of the things that I hope that they patch. I hope that they address that. This 3rd team, again, felt like another kind of starter team. He had a couple other players. He had that Davy Klaassen in the middle that he put a catalyst card on. And the funniest thing is Davy Klaassen, I think his pace is somewhere in like the 50s or something. But he was rapid. He ran my player down so many times. It was crazy. This guy actually was one of the better players that I played against on the day. You're not necessarily going to notice that from the result. I don't want to ruin the result, but you're not going to see the scoreline be as reflective. But this guy is somebody that should have been rewarded a little bit more. He was playing better FIFA than my previous opponent, who I only beat 2-1. So that's kind of going back to a little bit of my pissing contest there. With nobody, just me complaining. But this guy was actually moving the ball around well. You saw his goal. I wasn't upset conceding that first goal. It was just he created the space. He played the ball into a player that made a really good run, and he finessed into the top corner. So it was actually a really decent goal. With that being said, I liked my goal there. I thought it was well worked as well. But you guys can see this guy's creating chances. He got a little unlucky there. Maybe a little FIFA aids there, but he was creating decent chances. He wasn't pulling his guys out of position. He was defending quite well, and he was hard to break down. So this guy probably deserved a better result. He deserved it to maybe be 2-1 or 2-2 or whatever the scoreline was. But look at that. Very intelligent pass. Again, very unlucky hitting the post. But whereas most guys would just run in and cross it, and you're actually being rewarded for just running and blindly crossing across the box like you guys saw in that first game that I played, this guy was actually intelligent enough to run to the byline and cross it back to a guy who was running in on goal. He wasn't rewarded for it, which I'm thankful for. Unfortunately, in his case, it was just something that, he just got a little bit of FIFA aids there. But it was still well worked and probably deserved a better result. But we do end up making it 2-1 here. Lacazette, again, very lucky. Scored from his standing foot. Alexander Lacazette was a guy that I would love to get in my squad. Unfortunately, he's going for about 280k on PS4, which I would never pay for a base card unless it was like a Messi or Ronaldo. But 280k for Lacazette, crazy, crazy, crazy. But we do make it 2-1 and then make it 3-1 here as this guy was pressing. He was starting to push his back line a little bit further up. We were able to take advantage of that. Send Felipe Coutinho. Great pass from Zappacosta. Coutinho runs in. Hotline blings it there, but he smashes it across goal. You guys see that great run. I was actually quite proud of myself for seeing that run kind of develop and then that low-driven far post. If you guys don't use the low-driven, you really need to. Like, you thought it was abused last year. It's basically the only way that I've scored my goals. That and finesse shots like this. Just a finesse. I think that was actually a driven shot, but those finesse shots from kind of outside the box that bend around the keeper, that and the low-driven seem to be kind of the only goals that I'm scoring so far. Like, they're just the most abused shots in the game because they're the ones that fly in. But if you just take regular shots for the most part, like you guys saw that one opponent, Sergio Romero made about 4 saves in like less than a minute because the guy was just getting the ball and just hitting regular shoot, and the keeper seemed to track regular shoot, but for some reason finesse and low driven, they just don't get their hands on it. So if you guys don't use the low driven shot, I definitely recommend figuring out how to do it. Go practice in the tutorials. Get it into your repertoire because it's something that you need in order to succeed in FIFA this year, especially online. So like a shot like this, just a regular shot, not going to go in. But if I would have hit that low-driven far post, that might have found its way into the corner. So something that you definitely need to do. So after our first 4 games, we are 3 wins and 1 draw here. I still think we're undefeated, actually, in FIFA so far this year. I don't know if we have a loss. Which is going to change eventually. We'll come up against somebody. But as you guys can see, 14 wins, 1 draw. A lot of those are offline, of course. So take that for what it is. But for our online record, 3 wins, 1 draw, no losses. I'll take that so far. But we are going to finish off the video here by doing one of the harder SBCs to do. This one actually required loyalty. So as you guys can see, I used Ruffier there. In this video. So this one was one of the hardest ones to do because you have to get loyalty on your players on all of them. So to go onto the market, you really have to go do the glitch, which on PS4 essentially go in, start a game against Team of the Week, and then test your connection so you don't get the loss. But you have to do that 10 times. Very annoying, and it's actually not that cheap team to put together. I think this costs about 10, 15k at the very most. But you do get a rare gold players pack, so definitely worth the risk and in my opinion. So you guys are going to see that as we finish off the video here. We do open that, so you get 12 rare golden players. You're more than likely to get a board, which we do in this case, but unfortunately we get the biggest troll. Bazdos, just the last card that I want to get. No offense to the guy in person, I'm sure he's a great player in real life, but just like the worst card to get in FIFA. I never intend on using him, and we actually don't get very much in general. We are going to put all those cards in the club though. Rojo goes for about 6k, and the rest of the cards here we're just going to put on the transfer list there. So not worth the reward in this case, but I do recommend that you guys do it because this is the best chance you guys are going to have at getting a very high rated card or ones to watch right now.